The following podcast may contain strong language. Listener discretion is advised.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Hallmark of Greatness Reality Check, where we make you eat all the delicious hot rocks of our favourite reality TV shows. I'm Joe, and with me as always, he has more plug sockets in his house than the electrical department of 18 B&Qs. It's James.
Where am I?
That we're gonna do Nightmare at some point. And he's known as the Prince of Poaches, the Sultan of Scrambles, the Harold Hardrada of Hard Boiled. It's the Emperor of Eggs himself. It's Planty.
You know, and it's an egg. You know, like a bird's egg.
It's egg for
Look
egg,
at
which
that
is
Harold
German.
Hardrada episode.
Yeah, egg,
reference.
which is German. I couldn't think of anything that went with hard boiled, like a Regency sort of thing, like a Regal.
The egg, the.
If you want to keep up to date with all the Hallmark of Greatness gossip, you can follow us on Twitter at Hallmark of Greatness, all one word, or you can follow us on Facebook and Threads. And I will get around to using Blue Sky and that. I'm learning Hindi still, so all my spare toilet time is taken up talking about three boys eating bananas. Yeah.
I've seen that video as well. It's dark.
Yeah, that was on Channel 5, wasn't it? Early days of Channel 5, that one. Along with Fort Boyard.
We'll
Get that on the list. Get that on the list.
Yeah. Oh, it's on there, Fort Boyard.
Right, okay.
Yeah. Jack the door. Yeah, boy. And that guy in the tower who I think was a proper actor who they trapped in there. Yeah. But yes, before we get into that, how is everyone doing? Before we get into this week's episode, everyone?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
This is a fantastic break from watching political satire in my podcast to watch political satire? Question mark.
You could say that, yes. It's not. James, you all right?
Yeah, I'm good. This is sort of familiar territory for me. I played a lot of Rome Total War, like the first one.
Well, here's little clues for you boys and girls. Yeah, I played a lot of Rome Total War as well, and I remember it looking way better than this.
Oh yeah,
massively. Yeah, absolutely.
But they're running this on a 484.
It's just polygons jabbing one another, isn't it?
But it did make me want to go back. I did download Shogun Total War.
Shogun was the one I played
ace.
the most of.
Yeah.
Because I tried the Total War, the Warhammer one, and the Champions thing. It just it doesn't work for me.
Okay.
I will get around to it at some point because I paid for it and I'm going to play it. But if you don't know, obviously, this week's episode. It's so brass-eyed, it hurts. That's enough of that. We are doing Time Commanders, a TV series that ran on, I think, BBC Two from 2005.
You got a little advert.
Yes. Oh, yeah. There was the little. That's when the
ident 10 out of 10. No fucking notes.
That's when the world went to hell. When BBC Two got rid of those good idents at the start of it.
Yeah, they pensioned them off now.
They might still have them. I don't know. I don't watch any.
No, they don't. It's just a lad saying Riz. I don't know.
Is he in Hugh Edwards' basement? Too soon? No. Okay.
Evergreen episodes, Mark. Evergreen episodes.
I want to be evergreen. He's going to be a nonce for the rest of his life.
Sorry, not evergreen. Yew Tree. Time Commanders was a TV series, ran for 37 episodes from 2003 to 2005 on BBC Two, and then it was brought back for a special run on BBC Four in 2016.
BBC Four.
Yeah, where
they just gave up on programming at some point.
When they got rid of Only Connect, that's when it went downhill. Yeah. So, see.
It's where I watched all my Civil War documents. So
Ken Burns' Civil War.
Yeah, Ken Burns' Civil War is the boy. Ken Burns' Vietnam.
Oh, the Vietnam War one as well, yeah.
The Vietnam one's dry. I like the Civil War one, and yeah.
Because he's all got funny accents.
I know, but
funny accents and big moustaches.
Yeah, I like the Civil War one. So that's my Christmas watch. You're
not going to get any credence over the top of the Civil War, though, are you?
It'd be better.
Yeah, pay for
It
that.
would be better.
Especially played on some sort of little ukulele
on a fiddle.
Yes. Let's make a note. Somebody do that.
Make this happen, Ken Burns. If you're still alive, I think.
Oh yeah, still working. Yeah.
I call him Mr. Burns. Anyway, So yes, Time Commanders. We are doing episode. Wait, I've lost my notes.
Episode 11, season 1.
Episode 11, season 1. Originally aired November the 13th, 2003. Which, yeah, makes me feel very old. Because, but
wait, it was September the what?
November the 13th.
November the 3rd. All right, okay.
Has the machine got anything to say, James? Or are we just doing advertising sponsors?
Well, I'm afraid because last time it was still off exposing a sinister mayor. Things have taken a turn. It's now sent back a postcard saying that it's eradicating the local waterways of Japanese knotweed with somebody called Quincy Chode, a delivery driver who once kissed a bride on the mouth this one time.
Oh my God! You kissed James's wife once on the mouth by accident, and you never hear the end of it. On her wedding day.
That into the plot generator.
Of course she did. She snuck that in when you weren't looking. God damn.
The terrible thing about it
I thought she was going to move.
Quincy Chode as a name.
Quincy Chode is a tremendous name. Quincy Chode's a good captain. If you're off the case, okay, Captain Chode. Yeah.
Yeah, it still needs plenty of goat's milk, though, which is why this week was sponsored by Big Mirrors. Good God.
That's generally what I do when I catch a glance of myself in a big mirror. And trust me, it has to be a big mirror.
The one at the top of our stairs, I convinced myself is a funhouse mirror, because otherwise, oh God.
It's good, yeah, you catch a glance of yourself before you go to the John. It's
working from home, innit, Joe?
It's
what it is.
We get there. The actual synopsis for Time Commanders, which I don't know why it popped into my head that we should do this. I genuinely have I remember watching this and really loving it because I like this sort of thing. And I remember it being kind of better, but also this episode it's Claire levels of just chaos. It is.
I remember it being a virtual reality thing with Craig Charles.
No, that's Cyberzone, which is on the list as well.
But I've not heard of that.
Oh, yeah, I think it might be before you'd have been about 5. I think when it was on.
No. It wasn't that old, was it?
I'm fairly sure.
I thought it was around about the same time, maybe the late 90s.
No. Oh, mate, you're making me do live research now. 1993 Cyberzone.
Wow, was it really?
That be,
my goodness.
Yeah.
Beyond my bedtime then.
We will do it. There is an episode on YouTube I've just found there, so that is on the list. It was kind of like the Crystal Maze, but with shitty VR.
Absolutely.
But cutting edge.
Nice.
Cutting edge at the time.
Yeah, a nightmare, but with VR. It was so confusing.
Yeah. But it's Craig Charles at the height of his Craig Charlesiness. Did I tell you that we found he did a pirate-themed sitcom? Craig Charles.
What? No.
Yeah. For one season of it, and Sanjeev Bhaskar's in it, and the first joke they make when Sanjeev Bhaskar's in it is about curry. That tells you the level.
Wow.
I turned it off after about 6 minutes because I hadn't laughed at anything.
ITV, is it?
Oh, ITV, yeah.
Yeah. It's the most ITV that there ever was.
But the actual synopsis for Time Commanders: each week, 4 contestants come together as a team to recreate a historical battle via computer simulation, with 2 of the group playing generals with an overview of the battlefield, and the other 2 play lieutenants or lieutenants. I don't know what the difference is.
The Americans say lieutenant because of how it's spelled, whereas we say lieutenant, based on the French.
Okay, thank you. That helps. Who are more in touch with the progress of the battle. They're separated by about 10 yards.
They're on a step.
Yeah.
10 yards of static interference of some kind.
When they win or lose, 2 military historians take them through on the simulator, what actually happened in the real battle, sort of. It changed. The first season was presented, I think the first and second season were presented by Eddie Mayer. Third season was by Richard the Hamster. And the special they brought back was by everyone's favourite disabled child ignoring bald-headed fuckwit, Greg.
I've not seen any of them.
Yeah, I'd seen, and this was the weird thing.
I didn't know.
Rachel
is it him presenting it, or
Yeah.
is it just like,
Yeah.
you know, some of the battle happens and then he's off somewhere?
Yeah,
it's just
and he's
How
like,
many
"Oh."
battle axes?
Let's put tasty, that. Oh, yeah. I love the depth for that battle.
It's a buttery battle base.
Yeah, very good.
No, it was brought back for like a 4-part special thing, and Greg Wallace was the host of it, and I haven't seen them, and I will.
But
I'm
that
probably
makes
going to play through
sense
them.
because in that interview, that's all he does with his time, ignoring his disabled child playing Total War, doesn't he?
Total
Or
War or
Civ.
Command and Conquer or something,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah.
Yeah. Some RTS thing. But, that's basically it. They normally get a family or a group of people. It's people who know each other. It's not like a Crystal Maze where they just throw you all into one room and like, you're friends now. This is, there's families, there's workmates, I think there's siblings and stuff. And they have to reenact these battles, but in this season, try and win where historically they lost. That changes later on. One of the historians in season 3 is a weapons expert, and it gets a bit Deadliest Warrior, which is also on the list.
Oh, yeah, I want to do that.
Oh, Deadliest Warrior was tremendous.
Yeah.
They take you through all the historical thing and then have 5 actors recreate in a pub car park. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
But it's also, I mean, this is like that in the sense of they've got experts on who are people that are on the History Channel a lot, which is the worst place to get history from. But yeah,
I don't think the History Channel even shows history anymore. It's all ancient aliens and like
sharks
forged in fire.
Hey. At least that has some historical leaning.
Hey, I'd love it on the list if it's all the same, Joe. It would be perfect on the list.
I'd have to find a good episode of that. Possibly the one where the guy who's got a really expensive home forge kit loses to a man who smelts his steel in an upturned satellite dish. And he has a tanty and stomps off. Yes, but we're not here to talk about that. We are here to talk about. Sorry, I've got distracted. It just led on to so many other things. Because
flashy other TV shows.
Yes. So as we said, season 1, episode 11, the Battle of Adrianople.
Yeah, which wasn't very easy for me to look up, considering that I always think I know how to spell things and I never do.
It's Adrianople.
Yeah, but I don't know him.
Well,
I don't know how to spell his name. Never met him.
But yes, which was historically a Roman legion against some Goths who were squatting on their land. As it opens up, that music at the start, it's like that all the way through. It takes itself overly seriously for something that is. I think it was like 6:30. It was on sort of stuff. It was It's pure brass eye news night sort of dun 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 dun. Like
pixelated nonsense in the background of all of this is like Roman soldiers marching up.
I mean, if you watch the other ones that aren't recorded on a potato, it's better. Like
I'm sure.
But,
it kind of added to the charm, really.
Yeah.
Because it was supposed to be really dramatic, but actually it was, as I said before, it's just polygons.
Yes.
But I was expecting to see the moon get a fucking rocket in its eye and start crying on the quality of this camera.
Horace skiing through the background. Second time. But yeah, the whole show is based on the Rome Total War games engine. So if you've ever played that or any of the Total War series, you know what this is. It's large-scale battles, kind of Warhammer-ish, but like a tabletop role-playing game, but it's computer generated. All the things are chosen, and you can control units of troops. You can't control individual soldiers. You act as a general at the back of the field on your horse with your telescope, drinking your Sancerre, yeah, you're not in the thick of it, but you can control people. And we find out that to reenact the Battle of Adrianople, I don't know how to pronounce it.
It's so hard for people.
Because I'm not Greek.
You never will be with that attitude.
I like some of the stuff.
And lack of shipping containers. The line mentioned is they're doing like this bit of preamble. And sorry, James, if you've got a lot of this history, but he mentions that the Romans are under Emperor Flavius. And I was kind of like, well, that just sounds like he's like the mayor of Flavortown.
He's got a big sundial round his neck, and he's like, "Yeah, boy."
Father to a murdered Cheeto, husband to a can of Mountain Dew or something. I don't really know.
Cheetos. We get Eddie Bear presenting it. He seems to be everywhere in those days, isn't he?
I was thinking,
oh god,
where do I know him from? And then
Dundee.
I went, oh, everything. Yeah,
I saw him at the football once in Dundee.
Should have got Time Commanders as shit, mate. Amster was better.
I should have said, I'm glad Andrew Marr had a stroke or something. I don't know. Keep it light.
Keep it light.
We get the generals, Clive Carruthers, and then you get a little about the author picture of each one as well, which is brilliant.
A little screen comes up with it. Yeah, it's
He's a general. Martin Clark, also a general, party Lib Dem. Robert Rex Exon, or Rex, party Lib Dem. He's a lieutenant. And also Jan Lloyd,
Boo,
Labour.
Jan! Labour. That's why they pin all the blame on
There you
her.
go. Now, they really missed a trick, I think, with Robert Rex Exon's name. Surely they should have just called him Valdez.
Should have called him King.
I quite liked the oil spillage gag. If that was all the same with you.
All right. I was going for the Latin, high ground, low ground. It's like Richard Hammond's Richard Osman's House
He's
of
organ.
Fun, this, isn't it? Yeah.
Richard Hammond's organ.
Clive Carruthers is also a tremendous. Sounds like a jazz singer, or an old-time music hall guy. It's Clive Carruthers and his magic trombone. Yeah,
It just reminded me of the crocodile from the Beano. I think that was called Carruthers. Anyway,
Sure.
references for not even me and Planty there.
Eddie Bear then comes in. Let's talk about your lovely lives. And that is a brilliant entrance.
In Milton Keynes, you are
Yeah.
kidding, aren't you?
These four people are counsellors for Milton Keynes. Now, for American listeners, if there are any of you, Milton Keynes is a shithole.
It's a new town. It's a new town. So it was built in the 70s.
Yes.
And it doesn't work.
It's a lot of roundabouts and
Yeah.
sort of retro-futuristic architecture. Is
Yeah,
the
and
best
it's
way
a
I can describe it.
satellite town for London, kind of.
Yeah.
It's
Four
also
minutes.
named after like the two main planners. So it's a name. It's Milton.
No, is it really?
Yeah.
John Milton
Yeah.
from Paradise Lost.
I always thought that it was like Milton Friedman and Keynes, the economist, but it's not.
It's Milton Berle and his legendary loins.
I've never heard anybody reference Milton Berle's massive dick ever. That's basically not Gilbert Gottfried, rest his soul.
It's the content that people keep coming back for some
Absolutely.
reason.
Wow.
This is for nobody apart from us.
Jan says, she weighs in, she says, I want a strategic overview, which is exactly what you're not going to get as a lieutenant.
The
So
last
that's
thing you're gonna
automatically playing them off. So we also get two experts. We've got Dr. Nusbacher, a senior lecturer in war studies at Sandhurst.
Mhm.
That's like our version of West Point.
Yes.
As a person that served in Kosovo before becoming a military teacher at Sandhurst, then a broadcaster, and latterly stood as a Conservative candidate at the last general election. Also, Dr. Adrian Goldsworthy, who's an expert in ancient literature, who's written history books as well as historical fiction. And
He's
their
also
main job-
scathing as fuck.
He does not-
Also scathing.
He is.
He's a
He's
bitch.
great.
Yeah.
He's the best thing in it for me.
He's another talking head from the History Channel,
Yeah.
and I would know.
Because no, but like Nussbauer is like, oh well, they're trying to do stuff, and he's like, they're
Yeah.
fucking idiots.
Yeah. what they should do here and what they're not doing.
Yes.
So they set it up, don't they? Introduce what it is. So it's the year 378. Eastern Roman Emperor Richie Valens has a problem with Goth asylum seekers.
Nothing changes.
They say that they're hoping to slaughter their women and children.
He's got a
and
big smile on his face when he says that.
to a disturbingly accepting response from the councillors. Well, you what? Kill the asylum seekers. All right then.
Only the
maybe
goth
feel a bit
ones.
uncomfortable.
Yeah. There's no asylum seekers in Milton Keynes. Even they'd be like, fuck it, I'll go back to the war zone. It's pretty much the same.
That's what I call my bathroom.
There's a little bit here where the line he uses is the Goths are fighting for their lives. Against who? The Teddy Boys?
The New Romantics, surely.
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah.
Well, later it says they're fighting against the hardcore legionaries. I was like, when have these subdivisions of punk been at war? It's
They're all
very
just
nice-
there with minor threat on their shield, like patches on it.
It's very nicely sort of subdivided. This so you get the battle terrain.
Yeah,
which is where they
I was
look at
trying to
some
get the
terrain.
stings as a sting for the bits, but there was too much noise over the top of them, so
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. But yeah, so they've also tried to poison the goth leader,
Oh yeah,
Johnny 12 Trees. I can't remember his name.
Fritigern.
Yes, but it didn't work. Much like
Oh.
Rasputin.
Fritigern is a bit of a dish, isn't he? Isn't he
He's
like
got a-
bare chested on a horse? He's
I mean,
doing a
he
proper
was
Putin vibe.
certainly a number of triangles. I'll give him
That's
that.
what I was going to say. As much as a sexy man from GoldenEye can be.
The line is, the whole tribe of Goths are camping on your territory, Eddie Mayer says. They're wearing black, they're listening to Susie Sue, and they're smoking rollies.
Yeah.
He might not have said that last bit.
Clove cigarettes. Yes.
I once dated a goth girl in London who she was from California who smoked only clove cigarettes. The fucking stink of my clothes was still on my clothes 6 months after we'd broken up.
Oh, no. But goth lasses in it. Yeah. Just got away from
I only smoke them when I've got a toothache. Something. I don't know.
No, you just put one of those big bandages
Or
around
handkerchiefs.
your head.
Or a bit of string and you tie it to a doorknob. Whack.
Yes.
That's it.
Anyway, you can tell there's not a lot in this episode. So, yes. They explained to them that the Goths have put their wagons. I kept hearing larder.
Lager. They were shouting lager,
Yeah.
lager, mega white thing. Yeah.
There's a reason for that. I'm going to be full of these, I swear.
Go for it, because literally it's why it's not why we brought you on, because you're here anyway.
Lager, larder, and larder with 2 A's, which is what this is, are all based on the Germanic word for keeping.
Oh,
A
wow.
lager's a beer that keeps for longer. You just keep it around. Larder is in a storage area, so a place where you keep food. And this is a sort of a keeping area surrounded by wagons with,
Circle the wagons.
4 diametric entrances, as it turns out.
What about the car company that was the source of jokes in the 80s that I never understood because I don't know cars?
Oh, yeah, they're supposed to be
Yugoslavian.
aren't they?
Yugoslavian.
Oh, the Yugoslavian.
Yeah.
It no longer exists.
That's very good. The point I want to make, though, listeners, is that no man that speaks ancient Germanic can be evil.
The.
But yeah, so they're camping
We've
there.
come full circle with that reference. haven't we?
Yes.
We've
only got 3 references.
We get the battle overview. So they've got in front of them this huge sort of digital display of the terrain. The voiceover guy is like, the Romans are in a good place. It's a fairly level battlefield and stuff. They're in a thing. But the Goths have got a secret cavalry hiding in the forest.
Oh, and there's all these horses that have got pixelated trees through them.
Yeah, because, again, clipping is an issue. They banged on about these Goth horses a lot.
Yeah.
Right?
But
and
I think
Jan could not find a Goth horse if it was dancing to fucking Barhouse in front of her.
The experts say they don't want to wander into the trees, stay on the flat. That wagon lager's not going anywhere. Why would you go anywhere if you had a wagon load of lager?
Yeah, that'd be me.
But you need the toilet. Yeah.
I also like how
in a
it's
field, just piss against the front wheel, because that's
that
legal if you're a
explains why
London
the
taxi
Romans
driver.
are so upset.
I love how, as well, every unit in this is like a White Walker or something, just lurking in the forest, expressionless, motionless, just waiting for the moment.
The map, the overview of the map when they kind of zoom in, it's kind of like, right, and we're just looking, and Jan basically came across as if she'd got that fucking nightmare helmet on, and she's just like, where am I? Like, you're not there. They're zooming in on the other things. You're a hawk. You're like that hawk in Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Yeah. I quite liked the way that the camera panned round to Adrian Opal, because I put that it looks like a deadly octopus seizing its prey, which I think it's sort of the way that it was like an orb and there's like a reflection of it moving in on something. We get to...
That was beautiful.
Thank you. The Roman army. New cut, the Roman army. Does it always have this bit?
Yes.
I suppose there's breakdown of each force and bit. Eddie Mayer says that lieutenants chosen democratically aren't allowed on the mezzanine anymore. And that's democracy for you. And that's also what Jan gets for being in Labour.
Jan is the only one who seems to have any semblance of what is going on. The much like, World War One, the generals haven't got a fucking clue in this. Like,
I don't know what they did throughout all this.
There is a little bit where it says, a little bit later on, it says, Jan's experience in the council chamber begins to show. And she is just like every other fucking councillor I've ever met in not listening at all.
Bewildered and not paying attention.
Yeah, absolutely no clue what's going on. Just wondering when the next lot of tea and biscuits are coming round.
My one nugget of fact is that Jan was a head teacher, and that should put her in good stead for this.
Oh yes, that's the line. Yeah, she's a recently retired head teacher. Yeah, Ofsted came in and she had to fuck off. That's what happened there.
I don't really understand, other than her being in Labour. She's the only one. Rex also gets made a lieutenant. I can only assume that the prerequisite for being a general in this is that you've got like a Charles Boyle style polo shirt on in a shit drab colour.
And one of those Charles Boyle coats, jackets.
Yeah, so Clive and Martin are. It said Democrats. I reckon they went, we're the generals. And
Yeah,
Rex
definitely.
didn't have no balls to say it. And Jan was like, I'll show these men.
Yes, very much so. Yeah.
There you
But
go.
the
And I
Roman
really
K.
wanted Jan to show the men. I honestly did. I really did.
Well, when we get to the crux of this, I reckon Dilbert and Sanderson, who are in charge of the armies, actually do not give a. I don't reckon their keyboards are even plugged in. Because stuff's just going on.
Yeah, they get command of 20,000 men, made up of legionaries, auxilia, cavalry, including cataracts who can't see for shit.
Hey, get out my joke.
Some archers, use them in combinations as an expert. That never happens.
No.
Right,
Oh,
so
that's the last thing that happens.
But they explain your legionnaires are your well-trained fighting shock force, right? Your auxiliary are good against cavalry because they're spearmen. They don't wear armor. Right, you've got cavalry and you've got heavy horses and you've got a handful of bowmen, yeah, which they
Is
never
that a
use.
Morrissey song?
I think it's a Fallout Boy song. Heavy horses and a handful of archers, right? And they forget about the archers until they get run down later on, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, we had 10."
Yeah, mad, isn't it?
The sensible thing to do would be to put the legionnaires in the water, you know.
Well, you joke about that. That happened at work last week.
Oh, right. Fucking hell.
All right.
It's all funny till it happens at work.
Yeah. So Rex takes the left column, Jan takes the right. Typical New Labour, swerve into the right. That's a Katie joke. I can't take credit
It's
for
a
that.
good one.
Where else can you get jokes about farts and political satire of that level? Only here.
And a card-carrying Labour member pretending not to be upset.
Nah, it's fine. But the
I
the
said
Goths,
New Labour.
the
Oh,
Goths
you're
have-
right.
The Goths have got some archers outside of the ladder, everyone else inside it, and like some horses and stuff. And they're not particularly well equipped. He says like all the stuff they've got is nicked. He basically says in it so
Because they're transient, aren't they? They're looking for a new home. Is the story? You know, is the history of the Goths.
they should go to the Hong Kong Garden. It's Susie and the Banshees.
It's definitely going to be their happy house. Something.
They could build a temple of love.
Oh, fucking hell.
I can do this all day.
I know you can. I can't. No, I absolutely can't. I was just trying to figure out where Bela Lugosi used to live before he was dead.
But yeah, so they're like, okay, you've got strategizing time. Come up with a strategy. And they're like, are there tea and biscuits?
And then they go, I know what. You can send out a few lads on their horses to have a look. And Rex goes, yeah, let's have a proper look.
Well, they let them use the Skyhawk thing to try and find
Yeah.
these horses in the trees. And Jan could not find her ass with both hands this last.
But it would help if she actually went near the trees, because she doesn't fly it anywhere near the trees.
No.
Well, she does say there's a dip there. Something could be hiding in it.
Yeah.
Is
Quicksand.
it?
Yeah, I don't know.
And this is the bit where they say something along the lines of, oh, look at those trees over there. And Eddie Mayer, hilarious as he is, goes, oh, are you wanting to knock them down and build some houses?
Does he actually? I missed that.
Yeah. And I thought, oh, we're digging at councils now, are we, mate? Yeah? Is that what we're doing?
Rex goes off. He discovers that the camp, there's 4 entrances to it at 3, 6, 9, and 12 o'clock. Remember that, because it'll be very important later on.
I mean, it would be very important to their success, James, wouldn't it?
So the wagons are in a circle. There's gaps at the top, east, west, and south sides of this thing. They named them by numbers in it, but
it's populated by Goths, a race of primitively pixelated and passively faced men.
There's a lot of inbreeding in these.
Bridgerton is their leader, so he's the one that's bare-chested on a horse.
On a horse, looking fit.
Yeah, and they've also got some archers, which he promptly finds out when his cavalry get massacred.
He rides out to do a recce, and then they all stop and have a tea break. And he's like, "Do you want to move them?" Yeah, and they sent out. I think they sent out 8, and 3 come back. They just get picked off.
And the line is something along the lines of, "Oh, well, we've given them some food now," says one of the generals, and I'm like, "Well, that's a bit racist, isn't it?"
If there are any Goths out there and you've been affected by this, do write in.
Or write a song or a poem about it.
Oh, absolutely.
And then do it at an open mic. and then leave straight away because that's open mics in a nutshell. Yeah, so he goes out, like half his recce force, well, more than half his recce force gets demolished by archers.
Charitably, you could say that they found the range on those bows, aren't they? But yeah. Go to the battle plan. General Clive, not of
General
India.
Clark.
I know, right? Says that they need to draw them out of the camp, and the best way of doing that is to get fully within the camp, I believe.
Right. See, the thing is, they're not going to come out. Even me, I played Risk. They're not coming out of that camp.
No.
That's why they've.
What's it not?
That's why they've circled the wagon. Like,
There's two units that are outside the camp.
yeah, but that's just like, oh. And then as soon as them horses come over, topless Jeremy's like, everyone back inside.
Oh, everyone in, and let's create this fantastic barrier that's going to make it really difficult for them. But at the other 3 bits, there's no barrier. Right, okay. I'll maybe make a note of that. I can see from my step up as a general, because I'm a step higher up, so I can see better. Like being at the cinema, when you're at the back, you always see better. I can see better, so I can see that that's happened. But it's all right, because my eyes are painted on, apparently.
We missed the bit with the big map and the blocks that do nothing.
Oh, they're pushing the
yeah.
blocks around like real, like war, like a war
Game
room.
of Thrones, yeah.
Come on,
I've got
gentlemen,
opinions
what
on
is
this.
this? You should behave better in the war room.
Martin takes the stick, the stick for pushing the blocks
Yeah.
along, and then doesn't use it. Uses his
No.
hands like a pro. What's going on?
That's why he's
Not a pro, a pleb. Sorry.
that's why he's the second general and not Clive.
Well,
Clive
yeah,
would
they
have
don't-
used the croupier, whatever it's called. Yeah, the war stick.
He says we need to worry them with the archers, and he says this about 3 times. I hate archers, the archers, and Jeffrey Archer. We're all deceitful cowards.
Very
Well-
good.
That's only true of 2 of them. The archers who are, to be fair, a mixed bag. Yeah, but he says that, and then they don't use the archers at all.
No,
They
an
just leave.
afterthought.
But their plan, which is a fairly solid plan, march them down in columns, in a column, single column, left flank, right flank, horses at the side to protect them from any ambushes or whatever. And then when they get to the front, some of them go in the middle, some of them go around to 3 and 9, right? Fight it on 3 fronts. That's their plan, right? Solid plan,
Good.
I thought. Good plan.
And the expert's like, you're going to do that all at once, right? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're just not going to tell one another that.
Goldsworthy's like, right, okay. Fucking it.
Hey, let's attack at 3, 6, 9 o'clock. Rock around the clock tonight. Was that Richie Valance?
No, that was
No.
Hello, baby.
I want to say big Papa Pomp. Yeah,
Big bopper. The hello mountain or whatever they flew into. I don't know.
the ocean.
Fucking
I
hell.
think.
Was it okay? No, was that not?
Hello,
was-
Neptune. Yeah,
Was that not the band leader that died between
that was
France
Glenn
and
Miller.
England?
No,
Glenn
but it was
Miller.
Richie Valens, Buddy Holly.
Buddy Holly
and
and
the
the Big
Big Bopper.
Bopper. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
we've all
flew
seen
into a
La Bamba.
mountain. Yeah.
No, in the ocean, I think.
Oh,
Wasn't it?
did
It's
they?
not important.
Thus
But what they
concluding
could
the
have
Battle
done
of Adrianople.
There's 3 of them there. They could have flown separately. One could have gone in at 9 o'clock, one at 3 o'clock, and one done a phalanx up the front.
One of them didn't hit the Pentagon.
All right, let's get this back on track. Troop deployment.
Deployment.
time. Yeah, so they've got to the battlefield now. They march up with the cavalry splitting right off.
Oh,
Jan takes
no,
the cavalry
Jan.
Fucking splitters.
fucking
Yeah.
miles away.
They're getting souvenirs. They're in the Adrianople gift shop going, bought?
Halfway to Constantinople is what I've written. They march and they explain that Jan's experience in the council chamber begins to show. Despite her appearing to agree with her general's order to keep her troops together, Jan blatantly has her own agenda.
Yeah, she's gone rogue.
She's gone rogue. They've not even got into combat yet. She's like, fuck these guys. I'll show them what Labour's all about. Genocide.
I mean, she called it a little bit earlier than Blair, in fairness. What was
Yeah.
this, 99? So 3 years
No, it's
earlier?
2003, but yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. Oh, well, we were well in the
Well
war
into
on
the
terror.
Forever War,
The
yeah.
quote-unquote war on Goth terror.
This episode, man.
Yeah.
It's never going to get released.
But burn it down.
They search the woods for the cavalry
They have
again.
they have
but
another
do it again
search.
at a massive height, so they can't see anything anyway. And
I
then
reckon that's Data and Gadget on the thingies. Like,
Yeah.
we're not going to reveal the information. I also want to know who's in charge of the enemy, or is it just?
I want to know that.
Yeah, because that was
I
my
assume
concern.
there's somebody in a black room somewhere.
See, I reckon it's Adrian.
Blindfolded.
I reckon it's Goldsworthy. I'll show you, pricks.
No, I think it must be set up that there is somebody that understands the base of how this kind of battle would go, or how the battle went, and they just have, I don't know, a very simple mindset of how to do it, because they're completely outnumbered as well. That's one point that's made a lot. The Goths are completely outnumbered.
20,000 men against, I think, something like 7,000 or 8,000. Is it something like that? I think. Yeah.
And I reckon as well, if it was the Rome Total War AI, they would have just ran straight at the Romans or something. It's not a lot of challenge in that.
No.
They wouldn't see the defensive nature of the lot.
No. So there must have been someone back there, a third nerd.
The third nerd on the grassy knoll
in the black room.
Be Lex, Dan, what sounds a bit like Clive. There'll be a shadow team somewhere anyway.
5 as in Hive.
I reckon, it was Susie Sue in charge, actually. Just in the back room. She's got to fight for the Goths, haven't you? Because God knows they're not going to.
Yeah. Robert Smith and everything.
That was another Goth.
Because they've searched the woods and can't see any cavalry, they think, oh, fuck it, let's just attack quickly then.
Clive literally goes, get a bit closer, right, just fucking go. Like, there's no...
Out of interest, gentlemen, because how do you fight that cavalry in the woods? How do you deal with that? Or do you just flush them out? And then
you have your auxilia.
Right, okay.
Also the cavalry. So the cavalry is supposed to intercept, and while they're intercepting, you run up with the spearmen and stab them.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
But you've got to have some in reserve, and So what now happens is that they run the cavalry at the side of the camp, and then just get shot at.
Yeah,
which is just meaningless.
Yeah, it's rock paper scissors, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like. Cavalry good against foot troops, spears good against that, archers good against that, and it's just working that out. Whereas Clive and Martin are just like, throw everything at the camp.
We're Romans, don't you know?
They wanted to go legionary first, so the point is that the legionaries advance, archers start firing at them, so they're sort of like, they've aggroed to the legionaries, then, haven't they? And then you just do whatever the fuck you want, haven't you?
Tip of the spear.
Eddie Mayer at this point goes to talk to the people involved, and Jan says that I'm trying to send people around the side, but I keep getting shouted down. Rex doesn't want to talk to anyone because I'm doing my own thing until I get instructions. That's literally the job of the intern that's at the console.
Yeah.
No, but he's going just mate. I don't know what you playing, Minesweeper. Sweet.
Oh, that's a 3. Be careful there.
Yeah. No, it could be
this
there.
Is where we get the archers. General says, "Oh yeah, stick them in." They've just been hanging around, like
smoking tabs. Yeah. But again, it's for such a not well thought out plan, but they had a plan, and as soon as they get within striking distance, it all goes out the window.
Yeah.
They don't listen to one another. Again, they're counsellors.
Yeah.
They don't like. I don't think they've got a relationship with one another. The thing with, and again, disclosure, I work for the council, so I work a lot with councillors. It's just always an uneasy alliance. It's always like in any meeting with councillors, specifically of different parties and different areas. It's like the fucking Good Friday Agreement in a town centre. Do you know what I mean? It's exactly what it is.
Which makes me think, how did they get on the show together? How did they agree to go on this? They just plainly don't like one another.
They have a curry once a year, but none of them order starters, apart from Jan. Jan.
Well, she's out there now. So they say, right, Jan, come in now. And she's like Lancelot in the Holy Grail, just running in constantly every time you look.
Well, again, away. Right. If you've played Total War, you have to get your troops within striking distance, like marching, and then you charge, because you can't charge them because they'll get knackered, right? But I think, is it Clive? It's just like a healthy trot or something, he says.
Yes, yeah, it does.
An amble, I think.
An amble, a jaunty walk. And I'm like...
They're all jaunty because that's how it's programmed.
Yeah. Meanwhile, everybody else is there getting absolutely mullered, and Eddie's going, and she's still not here.
No. Well, the voiceover man's like, Jan has committed her troops to the 3 o'clock position, but her horses are fucking miles away. One of them's got a sombrero on. Don't know where he's been.
Yeah, there's a brawl at the 6 o'clock gap now, and it looks like a shoegaze gig in there. Everyone dancing jerkily around. It's
Looks
not
like
great
a goth,
graphics.
night out, yeah.
Yeah. Some troops go in at the 9 o'clock bit with horses for some reason, and then do a bit of a hit.
Right.
At least they do a hit and run.
Oh,
Rex
the hit
has
and run
the-
was good. I
Rex
liked
has the right
this.
idea. Break the line with the horses.
Yeah.
Send in the Legionnaires.
Yeah.
Send in the clowns. Legionnaires, yeah.
Yes.
Those
Right.
Raffy Daffy Legionnaires.
Which is how you're supposed to use it's a strike force. You bring them in, pull them out. Right. When Jan's people show up, all the horses get in there. Start doing what's it called? Not horse parkour. The thing that rich people do on horses.
Oh, in the Olympics. Yeah.
Horse
Dressage.
That's it.
Yeah.
Start
Let's do
getting
loads
there
of
and start
dressage.
doing that.
And then when all the horses are killed, be really surprised.
Eddie Mayer says Clive obviously disagrees with Martin's tactic to charge, but silent generals never prevail.
I loved that. I love that. I wrote it down 3 times at different bits, so I didn't forget to say it. So I'm glad you did.
I'm getting that tattooed on my back.
I looked that up because I thought it might be a quote. It's not a quote.
No, it's good though.
It's
Like,
good.
But it would be good if it wasn't delivered by a man who's wearing a shirt that looks like the ceiling of Hogwarts dinner hall.
Jan doesn't do hit and run. She's there for the long haul. Her cavalry get mauled and run away, defying Jan. And like people are like, Jan, could you bring those cavalry back? They don't respond to me anymore.
No, they're fleeing. They have lost too
They've been
many
routed.
members.
Is
Yes,
what's
that's
happening.
the word.
Yeah,
Yeah,
They
they've been
don't
routed.
recognize Jan's authority anymore.
no.
All that time, the auxiliary have just been sat there watching it from
Yeah.
the back, not doing anything.
Have you seen Marcus over there? Look at him getting murdered, prick.
All the remaining auxiliary then get piled into 6 o'clock for some reason and start getting bogged down.
Oh.
As the situation mounts, Clive begins to feel the pressure. And there's like beads of sweat like he's in the staring competition for Big Train. Not looking good, he says, rubbing his brow like a broker,
Yes.
watching all his stocks just die.
They're really good at admitting they've fucked it, but they're
Yeah.
not very good at actually doing
Clive's
anything.
not. Clive is still adamant that he can win this at one point.
Is he the he's the bit where they go, oh, should we surrender? No.
No, it's not that. So they've literally piled everyone in. I think that the Goth cavalry come out of the trees and harry the archers,
Mhm.
and and I think Clive goes, oh well, they were good for something. Yeah, well,
Yeah,
getting run down.
Operation Human Shield. Yeah.
Rex complains to Eddie Mayer that he's not getting instructions anymore. And he says that Jan is getting results because the squeaky wheel gets the combat power, which I looked up and is not a quote either.
Yeah, I'm getting that tattooed on my leg.
I must have missed that bit completely.
Oh no, I heard that because it's not as good as the Silent General.
Oh.
No. He thought, I've done one really good one. Let's go for another. And he just shit the bed.
Failure. Yeah.
The cavalry ambush begins at this point. Jan notices it and does nothing about it.
Mm-hmm.
Other cavalry unit gets wiped out by it like immediately.
Well, they get sandwiched between the Goths and the Goth cavalry, and then just get mullered. Like,
Yeah. Rex, to his credit, brings some cataphracts around, and they get shot in the arse by archers, and then ploughed by these cavalry as well. So it's just them just getting mopped up.
yeah. Clive goes, send in everyone else. Like
Yeah.
that. So, and I think even like Eddie Mayer goes, what, you're sending everyone in? And he goes, yeah. And then everyone's fighting in this lager, in this big circle of wagons. And Clive goes, can you get them to form ranks?
Oh,
and
yeah.
Jan says, no, Jan and Rex, no, we're fighting.
Yeah.
Well, Clive, can you kill some and then form ranks?
I've also got some other dialogue written down. Jan, they're chasing you. They're running away. It's not tactical, it's fear. Can you see it in their eyes, Jan? We like fear. And I'm like, what is happening? What have they become?
There's a bit in the opening sting of it as well, where it's not in the show, but Jan goes, some of them are climbing trees. I have no control over this.
I was waiting for that because I was going to do a Charlie in the Trees reference, and it doesn't come up. And I was like,
My horse, a kingdom for a Milton Keynes roundabout.
So they're in one defensive square inside the Gothic egg, which is an imagery in itself, isn't it?
How many plug sockets are in it, though, James? The question.
They get trapped within the egg as the cavalry comes in behind them. And I think they say, will any of them vote for us, Rex, as well at one point?
Yes, that is one of these terrible one-liners. There's one later.
They're Italian, so I don't think they're eligible to vote in the Milton Keynes local council elections. I don't know.
But that's not what Tommy Robinson will tell you. Anyway.
Yeah, well, it's not mentioning that little leg dick.
We get defeat imminent graphics, which
this is the bit. Could we retreat? Can we surrender? And the line is something along the lines of, I don't think they'll accept surrender because they're Goths. They don't believe. It's like they don't believe in surrender. They're pissed on your rug, dude.
You know what? I watched that like the day before yesterday, I think.
Yeah, it's Goths isn't the preferred Goths isn't the preferred nomenclature, dude.
But Martin is like, maybe we should surrender. Maybe we should surrender. And Clive's like, we will fight to the last man.
And then seconds later, like moments later, it's defeated. You've defeated. I was like, well.
Yeah.
And Eddie Mair says, Rex is staring at disbelief at the giant screen.
Weren't we all?
I love Rex because he just goes through a journey.
He says, what a defeat. And is it Clive says, well, it seemed to be going so well up until the point when we started. And I just thought, mate, now is not the time for this.
You know, you've just killed 20,000 men.
Yeah.
Conservatively.
Liberal democratically. Caesar's having your arse, mate.
Yeah. And I know it's not real, but you don't win. I don't think you win anything for winning either. You know, it's four in the bed rules. I don't think you get a plaque or anything.
We've absolutely all managed to kill people in XCOM and Cannon Fodder, and it makes you feel sad.
Oh,
and there's only four of them.
Yeah. Well, that's what I used to do in Rome Total War. Is I'd focus in on one guy and follow his battle. Like I'm like, go Kevin! Yeah. Oh no! And then he's got a wife and kids back home.
It's worse when it's war dogs. They didn't deserve that.
No,
any game that makes them a dog. Yeah, but
they get absolutely smashed. Time.
Yeah, where do you think it went wrong? All the way through it, mate. Like we were terrible. It's all Jan's fault, though.
Yeah, the experts come out and they're like, "Well, you had a good plan, but you were crap." And they're like, "Oh yeah, okay." The best feature is that they wanted to surrender to save their troops to have to die needlessly from their own incompetence. But unfortunately, there isn't a surrender button installed in it. So yeah, that's that. And then they talk about the real Battle of Adrianople.
Yeah. Nussbacher and Goldsworthy take them through what actually happened, and
which is the exact opposite of this.
Well, it's kind of similar to this, only not. Like, but they don't even show it, like, with the fancy graphics. They just push those perspex blocks around on a big map.
It's really disappointing.
Well, they show Richie Valens dying, though, don't they? Not that one, but that would be a bit... Yeah, but, they show, like, graphics of him running away and getting cut down.
Yeah. There's a lot of that noises in it. It's good.
I've just put, where's Jan's self-sacrifice, then? He was willing to commit Hirikiri, wasn't he? They didn't deploy properly. They came out of, like, a column weirdly and then got flanked and all
you have to you have to get to a certain point and then break and they broke too early which I don't know, because like I would have thought, to be honest, you must at least slight historical military leaning. These people
be called MASH, one of the two. Yeah,
that's later on. MASH does all right. They win their one.
All right, okay.
Yeah, but he's got proper 2000s hair.
He has frosted tips.
Frosted tip. Right, but with this, it's just like they've just gone. Oh, it's a computer game, right? How many hit points does a horse have? Because they just slam people into people, and I'm like, no, that's not how Rome Total War works. Like it is. It graphically, it's not great, but mechanically, it's sound.
No, it's great. Yeah.
They show them how it goes, and then they kind of go, right, off you fuck, basically. Like,
so, what are you going to take back to Milton Keynes? Listen to each other, trust each other, says Jan. No one agrees with her.
No, they just want more roundabouts.
Yeah, roundabouts within roundabouts.
Football clubs nicked from other places.
Oh yes, that's a story for another day. I only found out about that recently.
Oh, it's awful, atrocious. Boo, Milton Keynes dons. Boo.
Yeah, I didn't know that was Wimbledon. They moved to Milton Keynes.
Yeah. Oh, it's to like the hockey stadium.
Escape to the country ever.
Escape to the roundabout. Something.
Yeah, that's that episode, right? It is all on YouTube. It is a tremendous watch. Watching Rex go through all the emotions a man can feel. It's tremendous.
Just crushed.
Just a man whose soul is destroyed within 30 minutes.
Like at the end, he just shuts down, doesn't he? He just boom, powers down.
There's nothing he can do.
Done.
Like he's followed the
Yeah.
order that he get, and then they never talk to him again.
Do you think he did what you did and followed like a single troop, and then he just shares his trauma at the end of the battle?
It was me and Gary.
When he died, I died with him.
And Jan, I think Jan did fine. Again, I don't know how much of this is down to the two lads who are operating the system as well. I'm assuming they're told do exactly what they say. But we don't know. Because them horses, did he not like drag box, move all, like but keep formation?
They're unpaid interns, I bet. They don't give a shit.
and there's also a delay, isn't there? So there's General tells Lieutenant tells
much
Nerd.
like a real
Nerd
battlefield.
makes the computer do the thing. Yeah.
Well, not like the Nerds part of it, but they're not waving flags at each other or trumpeting a trumpet, are they? Like
no, but then in the black room, Susie Sue's giving it just clicking all the buttons. Do you know what I mean? She's just got a mouse and does whatever she wants in a happy house or something.
But so that was again. It's all on YouTube. The version that's on YouTube is recorded on someone's phone from a TV. So the quality isn't great, but the chaos is delicious.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Couldn't have picked a better episode.
No. We only picked it because James went, these are counsellors. So I was like, right, we're in.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
I have watched other ones of them, and it's a good show. I will say it's an interesting premise for a show they could probably bring back and rerun with the same battles.
I watched a lot of it when it was on. I watched the first two series easily.
Yeah.
6 o'clock, 6 p.m. TV, wasn't it? I think it was around about the time that BBC Two lost The Simpsons to Channel 4.
Probably, yeah.
So instead of getting The Simpsons at 6 o'clock, you got this shite.
Hey.
Yeah.
But I think season 3 was on slightly later because the episodes are longer. They're about 45 minutes because they do a bit more. There's like a bit of history in there about weaponry and stuff. But the whole run is on YouTube for free. Go and watch it. I genuinely think I've been working my way through them, and some of them are better. It depends who's on it.
Yeah.
Because you don't want people who are good, do you?
No.
Like, you want people who are just agents of chaos but confident in their ability. Basically, all stems back. I want to see Claire on this. I want to see Claire Eggman.
Well, I've put all the troops on a plank, but it's still not doing it.
You want to see all those people that go out of X Factor in the first round on this.
Yeah, like people that are on Celebs Go Dating, like that sort of just terrible people getting humiliated. But yeah, it's a good laugh. Do we need the James facts? Is there James? I know there's Jan facts.
Oh yeah, that music hasn't changed. I suppose it does sound a little bit like that Rome TV show. The music to that, doesn't it? Yeah. So I did a.
I'm not made of jingles.
No, I didn't. No, it was one of those where I feel like we're now past that period of golden TV and into a further period of golden TV that I can't go back to that.
The first season was good. The second season, HBO cancelled it, so it was mega.
Oh,
rushed.
it's HBO.
Anyway,
There'll be boobies in it then.
There were a lot of boobies, yeah. So I've not got a lot of Jan facts. It's not jam-packed with Jan facts. What I've done is I've just followed the trajectory of the people that were in this. Okay, so we'll start with Clive.
Trajectory, no less.
Clive Carruthers
was arrested for organ harvesting.
It's like the end of Animal House, yeah.
No one ever went to class, and they all saw Donald Sutherland's ass.
He's a photographer. He has a BA in business management, according to his Facebook page.
But not in army management.
That was the opening bit. Clive, you said
this
team has more degrees than a compass.
Oh, that was it. Yeah. And I thought, is he counting like Northwest?
Yeah, I
he's just counting North.
4.
Like, I know that's what I thought. Or is it?
Are we doing Northwest?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
What, Kanye West's there? Yeah, he no longer works at the council, so we'll move on. A lot of his snaps were of holiday, and I was like, I'm not getting sucked into this.
That's not sucked. That's just holiday. That's just Instagram.
Yeah, it's incredible the level of detail you could acquire of strangers' lives on the internet now. Martin Clark is a CEO of his own company, Inspire Change, which he founded in 1999, so before this episode. It teaches management skills to the healthcare sector. At no point does he mention his management experience of the show.
I say we send all the nurses into one door.
Consolidate the nurses into one formation or something.
We push all the surgeons down a lift shaft.
Robert Rex Exon is still a councillor for the Bradwell ward of Milton Keynes.
Oh, well
and he's
done him.
still vice chair of the planning committee. He's also trustee of Bradwell Abbey, founded just 780 years after Rex capitulated to the Gothic forces.
I can't. One day I want you to do this and be like, Rex is a stuntman. Something like.
He shares the trustee board of that abbey with Jan Lloyd.
Wow, they remain friends.
Yeah, she's of Huddersfield originally. She, as she said, spent a long time in teaching, SEN teaching, retired in 2003, shortly before her defeat at Adrianople, but still sings in a choir and is member of the Max Wall Society, which aims to build as many walls as possible.
But just up, not across.
That's not what that is.
It's not what it is.
Oh,
not
thanks,
what that is,
Panic.
James.
I didn't know otherwise.
No, but that's one thing
I
actually
want to
understood.
see Jan Lloyd walking about like Max.
It's one of the very few things James has said this episode that I understood. You'd think you'd have to have a basic grasp of Latin to do a podcast with James, wouldn't you? But
well, wrap your head around this one, Planty. In 2008, she became mayor of Milton Keynes.
oh,
Yes!
a mostly ceremonial role. But
Immediately declared war.
on, I don't know, Wickham? Question mark? High Wickham, maybe.
And that's it. That's
Watford?
what I've got. Disparate lives of these four misfit
She
strangers.
turned the Milton Keynes Bowl into a
The
Coliseum.
Blood Bowl.
Yeah. We've kind of said everything that needs to say about this, but it's a kind of snapshot of history of when this kind of shit was allowed on television.
Yeah.
On prime time television.
Did it occur to you why they're called goths and why we've got modern day goths? I did think that this question had come up, but it's not.
No.
Well, I thought it
Not
was
even slightly.
for Visigoth, which is I know the Kurgan was a Visigoth in Highlander.
He was, yes. That's about all the history I've got left.
Visigoths is after this point. So, right, well, it's probably easier if you take modern day goths, right, and go backwards.
When was Viz first published? Because
87.
that doesn't tie in then.
That's just Western. So you had Visigoths, you had Ostrogoths, so that's West and East. So
Astrogoths, Goths in space.
So they split off after this battle. They split off into two camps. One took over Spain, so that was further west than Italy, which is what the other one took over, and the rest is history. But modern day Goths are named because of the literary movement, the Gothic. When you think of something that's really Gothic,
Horrific
and Baroque, you know, that was itself named after the architectural movement, which was
the Gothic,
a dismissive name for the architecture that followed the Roman period, but long after. But people said, oh, it replaced it, so it must have been built by the Goths. The Goths conquered and they replaced all the buildings with these shitty, like Baroque style buildings. So there is a connection ultimately between the Goths and the Goths of 378 or whatever it was. And there you go.
I can't wait to tell the people that I work
12.
with who have never ever been to school about that tomorrow. It'll be great.
Goths, old and new.
Another reason to feel ultimately superior over my colleagues.
Next week we'll be doing Vandals. The band. Yeah. How are they related to the originals?
We do the Runaways the week after. There's something going on there.
And then Punks from young boys that got bummed in prison to where we are now.
I was going to suggest the New Radicals, but they only had one song.
It's a bop though.
You get what you give. Yeah.
So that's that again, right? Like a little bit of time team at the end there, weren't it? That was good. Right?
Yeah, I liked that a lot.
A bit of content, you know.
Maybe we should actually start doing like proper stuff, lads.
No, steady.
Steady. I know, but it's nice to give James a chance to flex his like brain a bit. You know what I mean? Like just us doing knob jokes, and then James is like, actually, the Baroque period, and I'm like,
had some fantastic knob jokes in it.
So yeah, that's
Stand my
that.
buttress.
If you can go and watch, I mean, it's all on there. Go and watch it. It's tremendous. This one is weirdly split into 5 parts for some annoying reason, but a lot of them are on there as full episodes.
It's bite-sized, though. I'll give it that. If you're doing notes, it's perfectly bite-sized.
Oh yeah, you can stop, go and have a wee,
Yeah.
make a brew, come back. Yeah, but do go and watch it. Petition BBC to bring it back, because if they don't, Sky will.
In a
Greg
pub car park.
Wallace versus...
No, get Greg Wallace
No,
out
get
of there.
rid of him.
Get,
no, I mean as a character.
But again, the engine has come on one way now. There's like,
Yeah.
it looks a lot better now.
Do sieges.
I
You
reckon.
you can do
naval
sieges
battles.
in Rome Total War. But
What about
Yeah,
Ryland?
it's
He'll
boring.
do it.
I was going to say it'll be
It's right up
Alan
his
Carr, won't it? Like,
Oh, it'll be put. That has got car written all over it, innit?
yeah. Nothing against Alan Carr, but he's on everything.
Yeah,
Spread yourself too thin.
Grand Design War Masters. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's what I'm all about.
Yes. Or we'll get Danny Dyer.
What, him or her?
Both.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
She
As
can talk to the
opposing
generals
captains,
because that's the
yeah.
closest. She can talk to like the military historians because that's probably the closest they're ever going to come to a woman, really. And Danny Dyer can be like, "Go on, geezer, set about him."
Go on, the right bunch of slags.
Yeah. Punch
You're
him in the
right,
trotters. Yeah. See?
Oh yeah, this stuff right. This has got Sky One written all over it.
Yes.
Again, right? See, make it happen, people. If we don't, we could just do our own. You know, we could literally make this ourselves. We have the technology.
Maybe we should.
I might think about doing this as
Maybe we
a
should.
one-off episode of we all play a character. I'll be Clive Carruthers. And everyone else is Jan. No, I reckon James can be both historical experts.
Jan us.
Oh,
Samantha.
which is a Roman god, I think you'll find. Yeah, I think. Oh man, that's a good idea. No one will watch it, but I'll be happy and it'll be a laugh. Yeah,
Let's do it.
right. Anyway, I was going to say, listen to Blanty's episode this week about the death of Stalin because it's a tremendous film. It's a
Stalin,
tremendous
yeah.
episode.
Historic related on 100 Things We Learned from Film.
Planty is very into it. John is not into it at all, and it does come across.
I'm so excited to talk about post-war communist reform. It's fucking
And
brilliant.
John's like, "That's a Cadillac." Yeah.
Except to the point when he goes, "Oh yeah, that's a car," and I just can't remember what car it is. And I'm like, "We get to 107 things here, John, but you wouldn't know."
No. And me and James will just be knocking about down the docks, throwing stuff
Oh my
And
God.
dice in the alley. Yeah.
into the dock. No, just stuff into the docks. Just, you know,
Dice into the dock.
we're going to wait down there for Santa to appear because it's nearly Christmas, isn't it?
Oh,
And then-
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Then we can go to
The
the
Ghost Factory.
the ghost factory and laugh maniacally.
That's just you kick him into the sea, and then you're Santa.
That's how it works. Oh, yeah, but we
Yeah,
both
it is.
can't be Santa.
I could be.
Or you can be
a
Claus and I'll
reindeer?
be Santa, and then we'll build a town called Claus Santa.
We're
But
Santa
it's not
and
already a
Claus.
Hallmark film.
A load of square roundabouts, so squareabouts, you see. This has got away from us. I never know how to end these things. Your favourite quotes? I mean, there's the thing on the ground, but your favourite quotes from the episodes?
Let's talk about your lovely lives.
Jan blatantly has her own agenda. Rex is staring at disbelief at a giant screen.
Oh, wait, what was the one? Oh, I can't be asked. Fine.
We've
I did
given them
write a
some
load down.
food now.
Oh, that was.
We like fear.
Jan's experience in the council chamber begins to show.
The squeaky wheel gets the combat power.
Do you think they'll vote for us?
We should surrender.
Never. To the last man.
Silent
did seem
generals
to be-
would never prevail.
Silent generals will never prevail. And on that note, let's say goodbye, boys and girls.
Goodbye.
Well, we're allowed to watch a little bit of porn at work.